unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on all affiliates across the 16 regions of the country. Western region, we are live on Premier FM 100.5, Sky Power FM 93.5 and Beach FM 105.5, all in Takrady. Bono region, we are live on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani. Ashanti region, Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi. The news is also live around the world on citinewsroom.com. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Coming up, WAEC officials monitoring the ongoing WASI seizes an invigilator's phone at the Ghana Armed Forces Senior High Technical School over suspected exams malpractice.
We have taken the matter up and we will deal with it. The mobile phone had a write-up of, it had some of our questions for the previous exams they have written.
Also coming up, Controller and Accountant General's Department reject report of an overstatement of the public debt by 138 billion cedis by the Auditor General.
There wasn't an overstatement, but there's some few reconciliations that we have to do with the auditors.
Still ahead, police in the Western region denying reports of human bodies dumped in the sea at Nkontompo by alleged money ritualists.
They didn't see anybody throwing any dead body in the water. There were no coffins as alleged. But according to the people, it is the costumes that they wear. They had pose of, that is what they were. That was the ritual they were performing.
And later, the race for the Akwatia parliamentary seat heat up as the two major political parties intensify campaigns ahead of the upcoming by-election on September 2.
What is most important is the problems that Akwatia as and then Chambo as a district. I mean, the problems that confronts us. We need to deal with infrastructure.
All that and more on Citi Prime News, which is also live in the Volta region on Holy FM 98.5 in Aplao, Northern region Dasuma FM 99.1 in Yendi, Upper East Word FM 88.3 in Zwarungu, and Upper West we are live on Bugli Radio 88.6 in Wa.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for choosing us. Now, the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has rejected calls by the National Union of Ghana Students for representation in national examination decision-making. The union had raised concerns over the lack of student voices on key WAEC committees, including the Ghana Examinations Committee and the WAEC Investigative Committee, which handle exam cancellations and probe cases of malpractice. Addressing the media, the head of WAEC's national office, Dr. Rosemont Wilson, said that issues related to exam cancellations and malpractice investigations are dealt with directly with candidates, their guardians and teachers, making NUC's inclusion unnecessary.
NUCs are students, and with our exams, invigilators and supervisors are to be workers of the genius, and NUCs are not staff of the genius, so they cannot come and invigilate or supervise our exams. But moreover, with the investigations and the rest, we deal directly with the candidates, and those candidates who are minors, they come along with their parents, and also they come along with their parents and also with their teachers to do the investigation. So we don't actually need any NUCs. We don't know the role that they want to play concerning the investigations.
Dr. Rosemond Wilson is head of National Office of WAEC. Meanwhile, the Ghana Education Service has stepped up measures against examination malpractice at identified hotspot centers in the Kumasi metropolis of the Ashanti region. During a monitoring and supervision visit, Kumasi Metro Director of Education, David Opon, said the number of invigilators and supervisors in critical areas has been increased. He added that all head teachers have signed an undertaking to ensure strict compliance with examination rules. Mr. Opon expressed optimism that these interventions will result in minimal or no cases of malpractice this year.
We are strengthening all the existing measures, supervision, monitoring, and everything. And we've also identified critical hotspots areas where we have beefed up the number of invigilators and supervisors over there. But what is so special about this year is that Ghana Education Service and WAEC, they have committed the headmasters to this particular exercise. The heads have assigned undertaking and they have deposited it at the various WAEC branch offices. The meaning is that heads are supposed to be accountable. They are to ensure that the examination is conducted within that kind of environment where there won't be any exam malpractices. So should any exam malpractices happen in any particular school, the head of that particular school will be held accountable.
David Opon is Kumasi Metro Director of Education at the Ghana Education Service. Now to a headline story where the West African Examination Council has confiscated a mobile phone belonging to an invigilator, Bright Amwa, at the Armed Forces Senior High Technical School at Bema Camp here in Accra. Mr. Amwa is alleged to have been in possession of already solved questions from the ongoing WASI. The phone reportedly contained material from the oral English and picture-making papers. Although these exams had already been written, WAEC suspect possible foul play leading to the seizure of the device. The examination center supervisor has been instructed to submit a report explaining why an invigilator had a phone in the exam hall, a clear breach of WAEC regulations. Speaking to the media, the head of the WAEC National Office, Dr. Rosemond Wilson, says the teacher will be handed over to the Ghana Education Service for further action.
One invigilator was in possession of a mobile phone, and the invigilators are not supposed to take mobile phones to the examination hall. So we have taken the matter up and we will deal with it. Actually, the mobile phone had a write-up of, it had some of our questions for the previous exams they have written, like picture making, English orals. It had some of those questions on it and also answers to the questions on it. This invigilator will be reported to his employers, which is Genius, to take action on them.
Dr. Rosemond Wilson is head of WAEC National Office. The Controller and Accountant General's Department has dismissed report that the public debt was overstated by 138 billion cedis as claimed in the 2024 Auditor General's report. The report indicates that the total public debt reported by the Controller stood at over 861 billion cedis, while records from the Ministry of Finance showed a lower figure of over 737 billion cedis. Controller and Accountant General Kwesi Eje provided the clarification during his appearance before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament.
We prepare whole of government accounts covering the local government, that's the MMDAs, central governments, and the SOEs. When it comes to the debt figure, we look at that for central government and guaranteed SOEs, and then the unguaranteed SOEs, and the summation of the two give us a total for the whole of government accounts. When we did that, our figure for the whole of government accounts was 861.4 billion, and that of the central government and the guaranteed SOEs came to 711.4 billion. And this is what we reported in the financial statements. But after the report was submitted to Parliament, we met with the auditors, and then we reconcile this and reconciliation. But we still came back with the same figure, the same 861 billion for whole of government, and then 711.4 billion for central government and guaranteed SOEs. So far as we are concerned, we reconcile. The figures haven't changed. The figure, as you see in the financial statement, the same as we have after the reconciliation, and they haven't impacted on the accounts of the state. There wasn't an overstatement, but just some few reconciliations that we have to do with the auditors.
We had a Controller and Accountant General Kwesi Ejay. Meanwhile, Assistant Auditor General in charge of whole of government account audit, Paul Afram, said a reconciliation of the figures was conducted after the report's release, confirming the assertion of the Controller and Accountant General.
When the issue came out, we issued observation the Controller Accountant General for explanation. And the response Controller Accountant General gave was to engage Ministry of Finance for a reconciliation. Unfortunately, because we were pressed for time and we needed to also meet our mandate under the Constitution, we issued the report. And after that, a reconciliation has been done, and we can certify that the public debt is as is in the whole of government.
Paul Afram is Assistant Auditor General in charge of whole of government account audit. The Controller and Accountant General's Department also added that the office is partnering with the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate and prosecute individuals involved in payroll irregularities.
We shouldn't just end at recovery, because we realize that we were happy when they said recovered and then we take, recovered and we take. We should go beyond recovery. Who actually, if it's controller, the inputs. So the audit report will definitely indicate the recipients and their staff ID. That should be in the audit report. So I want that report. We are working in collaboration with other security agencies, OSP, because if somebody did it, definitely we are using an Oracle system. There's an audit trail. You can go through into the system and then identify who actually on that particular day process the allowances. It's something very easy that we can do. So what I'm saying is that once we get that, we should just extra patience, and then definitely with the investigation, those pop-up will actually be possible. Because it's not a comfortable thing for me as well, because payroll issues has become something that almost every day I hear those issues.
Kwesi Ejay is Controller and Accountant General. Meanwhile, Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampem also urged the public to volunteer information to assist in an in-depth probe of such irregularities to protect the integrity of the payroll.
Fortunately, Controller knows the person in the Controller office who activated, who deactivated, but a lot more information needs to come out for us to know what really went on and for the appropriate punishment to be meted out. And so the finance minister takes serious views to some of these things, and he's asked that we have an in-depth investigation into it. We will apprise the general public of whatever the outcome is. And as Controller said, the public should be free to come forth with any information that will help us nip this trend in the bud.
You heard Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampem. Arocha Ghana is calling for renewed effort to eliminate bribery within the government anti-Galamsey task force. The call follows allegations by the national organizer of the NDC, Joseph Yamin, that the task force is extorting money from illegal miners instead of combating the menace. He urged President Mahama to impose a ban on such activities. Speaking to Citi News, Deputy National Director of Arocha Ghana, Daryl Bosu, said the concerns raised by Joseph Yamin should be taken seriously and addressed urgently. However, he noted that imposing a ban may not be the most prudent approach.
Yamin is a very, very important person high up in the ranks of the current government in power. If he's raising these concerns, maybe there's some legitimacy to it. And I mean, we also as organizations on the ground, we have seen how the police, very decentralized as they are, have missed out on dealing with Galamsey, because many times you see the police, like they come back not addressing the issue. I do not agree with him saying that, look, because there are issues with some anti-Galamsey operations, we need to halt the whole thing. That is not tenable, unfortunately, and for that, we do not agree with him. There are issues with the police, the IGP team, people don't have trust in the process. We need to deal with it. If the government cannot be unified at the front line, that is where we have a problem.
Deputy National Director of Arocha Ghana, Daryl Bosu. This is still the City Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Still to come, the race for the Akwetia parliamentary seat heat up as the two major political parties intensify campaigns ahead of the upcoming by-election on September 2. We have details of that plus other stories coming up shortly. Please don't go away.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank account too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to the luckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you're abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana Cedi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Looking for a one-stop shopping destination for all things made in Ghana? Eager to experience a remarkable fair that showcases the richness, creativity, and innovation behind Ghanaian products and services? Then get ready for the This is Ghana Exhibition 2025, a celebration of excellence in locally made goods and services. This year's exhibition brings together the very best that Ghana has to offer. From timeless traditional crafts to cutting-edge innovations, the This is Ghana Exhibition highlights the brilliance of Ghanaian entrepreneurs, artisans, and businesses who continue to shape the narrative of homegrown excellence. Brought to you by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM, this is Ghana's biggest trade fair and exhibition, bringing together SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing sectors, indigenous corporate bodies, and local creatives in one exciting space. Join us in championing Ghanaian talent, creativity, and authenticity. Come explore, engage, and be inspired by the businesses and brands that are redefining Made in Ghana across every sector. The dates: Saturday the 6th and Sunday the 7th of September 2025. Time is 10 a.m. through till 5 p.m. each day. The venue is the Info Sutherland Children's Park. For inquiries or participation details, call us on 0205-973-973. The This is Ghana Exhibition 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by MTN, EcoBank, Side Hustle by EK Brand Consult, Ghana Enterprises Agency, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and Ghana Exim Bank, and is supported by Trillium Industrial Company Limited and Build Financial Technologies.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. Now the race for the vacant Akwetia parliamentary seat is intensifying as major parties step up campaigning ahead of the by-election on September 2, 2025. The seat became vacant following the death of Ernest Kumi in July this year, shortly after winning the 2024 election. In an interview with Citi News, NDC's candidate Bernard Bediako said he believes his message of incumbency advantage will persuade voters to elect him.
God willing, it's a done deal for me and then the NDC. What is most important is the problems that Akwetia as and then Chambo as a district. I mean, the problems that confronts us. We need to deal with infrastructure. Unemployment. NDC has over 184-85 MPs. We've not even sorted them out because these are people who align with the policies of the government. They share the same vision. So it is important that we acknowledge the fact that the sitting president is the sitting president. Every resources and every opportunity is vested in his hands. At the end of the day, if we know who the president is, and I am the representative of the people, whose cross I should carry to the president, it makes it a bit easier.
Bernard Bediako is NDC's candidate for the upcoming Akwatia by-election. Now, for the NPP, the party says its candidate Solomon Kwame Asumedu is poised to retain the Akwatia seat. Speaking to Citi News, former NPP elections and research officer in Akwatia, Stephen Eji, expressed confidence in the party's chances.
We commissioned the research. People went into the constituency and gave them all the names that had.
Apologies for that. Now join us later on Citi FM on Channel 1 TV as we look ahead to the Akwatia by-election with Umaru Sanda Amadu on Akwatia Watch at 3 p.m. Former government spokesperson on governance and security, Dr. Paulgrave Boakye Dankwa, has urged residents of Akwatia to turn out in large numbers for the upcoming election. He stated that the deployment of about 600 security personnel is intended to safeguard peace and order and not intimidate voters. Speaking on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily, Dr. Boakye Dankwa described the measure as a way to ensure a free, transparent and incident-free polls.
Presence of the security, the presence of electoral commission is to ensure that the election is free, is peaceful, is incident-free, because of the history and antecedents that have always happened in Akwatia. And so no one should be afraid to come out to vote. I think that is important that you come out and vote for the new Patriotic Party candidate. Don't be intimidated at all by the high presence of security. It's for your peace and for your safety. And when you finish voting, you can go back to your work and go and do your work. And yes, it's a working day, but the voting will start at maybe 7 o'clock or even 8 o'clock, and it would transcend to about 5 o'clock. If you're in the queue before 5 o'clock, you have an opportunity to vote. And I don't think that anyone should be afraid at all. And we would also entreat the ruling government to ensure that they don't bring in some high levels of intimidation. We are only going to elect someone to represent us in Parliament.
He further expressed confidence in the NPP's chances of retaining the seat and called on voters to rally behind the party in honor of the late Member of Parliament, Ernest Kumi.
I'm appealing to them to look at the works that Ernest Kumi had done in his few months in Parliament, look at how hard he had fought to retain the seat from going to court and serving in Parliament, being granted injunction and all of those other things that he went through. I recall his swearing in when they didn't want to swear him as a Member of Parliament, and the leader of the House at the time, Leader Markin, stated that, let's swear him in and he will bear the consequences thereof. And he's a young man. He wants to serve his country. He wants to make laws for his country. I think that it will be good for you to reward him in his death peacefully to ensure that it remains blue. It would be a true testament, really, for me, that the verdict that came out of the court is a true representation of the votes that were cast in the December 2024 general election.
Former government spokesperson on governance and security, Dr. Paulgrave Boakye Dankwa. Political science lecturer Jonathan Asante-Okyere is calling on New Patriotic Party presidential aspirant to prioritize competence, character and tangible achievement over divisive rhetorics. This follows comment by Abetifi MP and NPP flag bearer hopeful Dr. Brian Champon, who reportedly attributed the party's 2024 electoral loss to Baumier's Mampusi heritage. Now, Dr. Mohamed Baumia, the former vice president and flag bearer aspirant, swiftly condemned these remarks as tribal bigotry during the NPP's 33rd anniversary celebration in New York yesterday. Speaking to Citi News, Jonathan Asante-Okyere criticized the use of inflammatory remarks, urging aspirants to focus on unity and substantive policies like healthcare, education and infrastructure.
It is more about competence and more about your character, your demeanor, the way you have conducted yourself in the public space, how resourceful you are, and so on and so forth, especially when you are in your position. When you are in government, you are thinking of what you have done, what you intend to do, and they interrogate these things. Religion may play a role because, of course, if you find yourself in a country in which over 71% are Christians, and you have about 17 being Muslims and the rest, and then it means that one way or the other, it will play some role. But as I said earlier on, in as much as people may identify themselves with this or that, if you are supposed to visit a hospital where there's nothing there, you go to a place to go and die, people will query that. People will query the roads that they are using. If it is destroying the vehicles, definitely they will look up to that before they decide. If they cannot have better schools to send their kids, they will take a decision on that. And so many other things. And so I think that it is too early for them to be throwing tantrums at each other. This does not in any way appear to be a source of unity.
Now, commenting on the NPP's decision to withdraw from the Tamale Central by-election, political science lecturer Jonathan Asante-Oche described it as a misguided political strategy, noting that participation could have provided valuable insight to help the party refine its approach after the by-election.
There's supposed to be a surprise element. The NPP has withdrawn. That in itself was, I think, it was a very bad decision. They thought that they were going to set up the NDC by making Ghanaians think that for the NDC to contest Akwetia, it means they are greedy. I think that particular strategy has not really worked. So we go into elections not always because you want to win or you want to lose. You may need to get the data. Yes, the previous election, in 2024, you lost miserably there. Get a candidate, test the popularity of that candidate. It is also a way of finding out how the constituents over there are receiving the policies of the current government. So, for example, the NDC will contest Akwetia. Should they lose, they want to see how their vote would appreciate with respect to the parliamentary. And that in itself will be a source of data for them to interrogate come 2028. And it could help them to strategize. If they win, it means that their policies have gone down well with the people.
Political science analyst Jonathan Asante-Oche. The Western Regional Police Command has denied reports that 11 individuals disposed of human bodies at Nkontompo in the Sekondi Takoradi metropolis over the weekend. Fear gripped the Nkontompo community on Saturday after residents held the men hostage on suspicion of engaging in money ritual activities. Eyewitnesses said the men arrived in the community in expensive vehicles, dressed in white attire with yellow ropes draped around their necks. Western Regional Police Public Relations Officer Superintendent Olivia Adiku told Citi News that suspects were granted police inquiry bail after their statements were taken.
On Saturday, we had information from the assemblyman that a group had come from Kotompo by the sea and they are throwing certain items into the water. And I think the youth got suspicious and surrounded them. So it needed police action. So immediately police went there and they found the group. They were about 11. And according to them, they belonged to a society called Ritual Science Society. And one of them, their members died and the ritual they performed. So that is what they were doing. So they were able to rescue them. They were arrested. Their statements were taken, and later they've been given bail to report on Tuesday. They didn't see anybody throwing any dead body in the water. There were no coffins as alleged. But according to the people, it is the costumes that they wear. They had to dispose of. That is what they were. That was the ritual they were performing.
Superintendent Olivia Adiku speaks for the police in the Western region. The water supply has been restored to the northeastern part of Accra following a fire outbreak at the Dodua Booster Station. Ghana Water Limited had announced a temporary shutdown of the station last weekend to allow for repair and maintenance works. The incident affected areas including East Legon, Medina, Adenta and surrounding communities which experienced low water pressure and supply cuts. Speaking to Citi News, Director of Public Relations and Communications Stanley Marty said the repair works have been completed successfully and assured residents that water has been fully restored.
Everything. So now we are pumping at full capacity, so there's no problem again. Actually, initially we envisaged that it was going to go beyond 2-3 days, but we realized the fault on time, so we're able to solve it within a very short time. So we are done. We are fully to capacity.
Director of Public Relations and Communications at the Ghana Water Limited, Stanley Marty, ending today's edition of the City Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. Please log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Good afternoon.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302-224959 and get interactive on Facebook, City 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at City 973.
City 97.3. More variety.
Looking for a one-stop shopping destination for all things made in Ghana? Eager to experience a